Okay, guys, so today I'm joined with the 4x100 Olympian gold medal winning relay team. I want to go back to 2004. We're over 20 years now since the gold medal was won by you guys. And the first question I want to ask you is the emotion of that moment when you're on that podium, you're getting that medal. You know, this is the pinnacle. This is what you've all guys have worked for your whole careers. Just jump in, any of you there, and tell me about the emotions, and we'll go around the four of you.
Yeah, it was a myth. It was nice. For us, as the underdogs, achieving that ultimate goal after so much bad luck building up to it, for me personally, was a dream come true. It's something that every athlete dreams of, winning a gold medal at a major champs, especially the Olympics, and it happened with us. The chemistry was right, the atmosphere was right, the vibe was right. We went out there and we delivered on the day, even though people doubted us.
You mentioned there about the bad luck beforehand. I just go into that a little bit.
All right, the bad luck beforehand, obviously, 2000 Olympics. I wasn't involved in that. I went to the World Juniors, but they had an amazing team. But I think the politics stopped the guys from progressing to win a gold medal. And then the teams that I've been involved in, in Athens, the heats, we made a big mistake and we corrected it. I think the chemistry was right at that point in time, and I think we all grew as a team, and we all knew what we needed and what we wanted out of it, and we came together and we delivered.
Let's go to Darren about yourself, the emotions for you.
Um, I was just crying. I haven't cried very often in my life, and it was like every tear that I should have cried came out in that moment. I think setting such a crazy target of at the age of 12 wanting to stand at the top of the podium at the Olympic Games, and there's no map, there's no sat nav, and you're gonna have to go through stuff. I think if anybody tells you that, then you may not go on the quest. So I think to have that dream and to see it realized, it was too much, I guess. That's the best way for me to explain. It was too much. Every single emotion, too much.
Marlon, for yourself.
Yeah, as you said, James, it's 21 years ago. And the older I get and the longer I move away from the experience, the more incredible it feels that what we did as a four, how we got together and the people I'm working with at the moment. And you see the difference in mindsets and how unique the four of us work together. And exactly what Mark said, exactly what Dan said as well. I'm sure Jason's going to speak about it as well. It's just we just clicked on a new level that has taken years and years of preparation through our juniors. Myself and Jason have known each other way through the juniors. I've trained with Mark, and Darren's been in the team for a long time. So there's this, we've crossed paths so many times, and it was as Darren said, it was the right time. So 21 years ago, incredible, and it hurts my mind when you think about how many things and all the things that could have gone wrong, but we put it together because of the dedication and the hard work and all the things that the resilience, all these things that we all talk about and we preach to others, all came together in one hit. It was amazing.
Absolutely. And Jason, for you, the emotions of that moment on the podium.
Yeah, just taking Mark's point first, the disappointments of Sydney Olympics in particular, and Darren was involved in Atlanta disappointment. So, success comes from pain. And we felt a lot of pain. And you don't achieve that kind of high level performance without undergoing, the trials and tribulations of disappointment, because that puts a fuel and fire in your bellies. And we all came together to right the wrongs, despite 4 years later in Athens being slower individually, man for man, than we were in Sydney. We weren't a team. We were a bunch of individuals. And I was again just listening to Darren and Marlon as well talking about their experiences. If I can be really frank and honest, looking back at the standing on a rostrum, it's something that, like Mark said, we all dream of having that moment to shine as aspiring to be an Olympic champion from watching like Daley Thompson, Linford Christie, those guys. I think probably I was probably just in shock, really. When you think about the mighty American team, the fastest team ever assembled on the planet, and on paper it looked like no one was going to touch them, and on paper it looked like we potentially may not have made the final, but to actually, to see Mark cross that line in first place, to put in a most stellar kind of performance I was just probably high as a kite. But actually stand on the rostrum, I was just proud to be there with my three guys, um, to fulfill a childhood dream. But if I'm honest with you, the feelings, I didn't have the emotions that I probably thought I would. I thought, like Darren said, he was crying. I thought I would be crying and stuff like that, but I didn't have that. It was just a bit surreal for me. But standing on top of the rostrum, I remember pinching, I think Darren and Marlon, I think they were next to me, and particularly Darren, just saying, this is this real? And seeing Americans down below us, and the Union flag being raised higher than the other two nations, being crowned Olympic champions was, yeah, it was just an most amazing, special moment, and I'm really, very grateful to be able to have these moments and opportunities to talk about it and be with my three kind of brothers.
Definitely. Talk to you about after that, when it's all sort of set in and the realization has come in that you are, Olympic gold medalist, you've reached the pinnacle of what you guys have worked for all these years and all this time in the sport. What next? Does it push you on? Does it give you that hunger to go again to the next level to win again gold medals? Or is there some sort of the almost realization of, okay, I've reached the top now, the only way is down? What is that feeling like? Is there a bittersweet moment in that?
For
Um,
me, per
go on.
for me personally, obviously I was the youngest in the team at the time, so my journey was almost un like just starting as such. I knew I could make 2008 Olympics, and I knew, Commonwealth Games and maybe another Olympics afterwards would have been possible. So my journey was kind of only just beginning, like in the senior ranking. Um, but again, once we achieved that, I did go through a low, where I was just like, the motivation's kind of gone a little bit. Then I got injured, so trials and tribulations and that. But then, like in life, innit, there's always something that motivates you to carry on and to do something more, because especially when you know you've got more to give. But yeah, for me, I think straight after the games, I hit a wall. I couldn't motivate myself, and then 2005, I moved to London and tried to find a new passion, a new lease, a new reason for competing. But again, the story's written. We all know what happened there. So, it weren't until 2010 where I kind of found myself again. So yeah, it's track and field, nothing's promised and nothing's given. So I think in that moment of winning that gold medal for me, it was an achievement that I wanted to achieve for a child, but then I had to go back to the drawing board and kind of find the purpose of me doing what I'm doing.
Uh,
Darren?
I think for me, like my mission was beyond being an Olympic champion because I'd already set in my mind that it it would be the lessons that I learned on the way. Okay, because I had a couple of targets. Do you get what I mean? It was like, yeah, I'm going to win Olympic gold, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, then I'm going to do that, and the Olympic gold was going to be uh, the thing that lit that. And obviously, achieving the one then for me gave me the belief that the others were possible. But at the age that I am now of 51, what I realize in life is, yeah, sometimes you get what you want, but not in the way that you think you're going to get it. Yeah.
Mm.
So I never thought I'd win Olympic gold standing on the podium with three other guys. Like that wasn't the plan. But then life throws different things at you where that's the last chance. So
Mm.
how do you make it work? Do you get what I mean? And like I say, for me, it was always bigger. I guess what I didn't realize is that I'd have to go through a lot of pain to realize the other dreams. I thought it would be easy, and I learned enough lessons. And this is beyond athletics. This is about life. Yeah, you learn the lessons, you progress, and you move on. But yeah, there's always going to be speed bumps and different levels of adversity through it all. But I think what I learned becoming Olympic champion is that my resilience is of a different level. My mindset is of a different level. And if I really truly want something, I can do it. That's it.
1,000,000%. I agree with that.
Marlon, for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. In the moment, so I have this idea in my mind that there's no destination, there's no point of destination. It's just a continuous journey. And as you've got older, and in the capacity I work in now, so I work at a British International School in Shanghai. So I'm in China. Well, not in China now, but that's where I work. And been there 7 years now. And you start realizing the different levels of lessons that you've learned through your journey. And the students ask questions that light up something in my mind that I've been through and experienced, whether it be before Olympics, after Olympics. And it kind of resonates with me, and I go, oh yeah, that story. And I talk to the students about it, and then it resonates with them, and they go on and they so as Darren said, it's I didn't realize at the time. Darren was very clear and sort of forward thinking. He had that mindset and looking at a much bigger picture than I. But my picture's now become a lot bigger to see that there is levels of feedback or giving back now afterwards. So you said after 2004, there were more successes, but we never became Olympic champion again. Although I had opportunity in 2008 and didn't go very well. But it's a very good question, and definitely that is definitely the pinnacle. But there's lots of lessons that I've learned that have put me in a position where I can now share with the masses, whether it be an adult or student or anybody by that matter. So it's been interesting, an interesting journey.
And Jason, for yourself?
I guess Athens was the everything. I gave everything of me to perform to be as best as I possibly could be in Athens, because I realized I was, in my getting towards my late 20s. This was it. In life, you're presented with opportunities and you have to grab them where you can, because they might not come back again. And, I'll just give you a bit of background. I just had surgery for, I think, 3.5 months before. I had a double hernia repair after winning the World Indoor Championships. I was having 3 epidurals a year because I had lots of sciatica, which used to blow up my hamstring nearly every year. And that nearly broke me during my career. But I just had that kind of that tenacity to not give up, to keep trying. I had a wonderful team of people around me trying to get me on track, just like the other athletes. We all go through problems. Kelly Holmes winning two gold medals. She went through massive problems in her careers with injuries, but it shows it can be done. And obviously, I wasn't good enough to win the 100 meters individually, but thankfully, I had these three guys here that enabled me to fulfill my childhood dream, and also our support team and the management. And we're very fortunate with the funding and support we had from lottery funding and our personal sponsors, because without any of those components, it wouldn't have happened. I think coming away from Athens, you reach your pinnacle and you ask yourself, what's next? I just had my first child born, so my priorities started to change probably. I realized I don't think it was going to get any better. But you learn to be smart at our ages. You learn to know what's really important to do, what you need to do to get in shape. You know how to make more sensible decisions. But I am retired before the next Olympics in 2008 in Beijing, because I knew I could sustain the performance. My body had it. And then moving forwards, I think you try and kind of find your pathway. I think I expected the pathway to be a lot different than what it was. I didn't realize that you still have to graft just as hard as we did as Olympic champions to really kind of make a cut through in society, in career and stuff like that in life. But what I do appreciate, or what I don't probably appreciate, but I'm starting to even more, so a bit like Marlon said, is we have a very unique set of skills which not many people have. And that's what sets us apart and where we can offer value for those people that want to achieve the ultimate level of performance, whether it's in sport or business. And that's where I guess we're on the bleeding edge of high performance. But generally in life, most people don't need to be performing high in life to be successful. You can get through and be average in life. But for those that really want to be the very best, that's where fortunately we're able to kind of have our services yeah yeah asked for.
Uh, Mark, for you, you mentioned earlier you're the youngest out of the group. You came to the team, obviously for this Olympics. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you probably only worked with a team for a maximum of a year before Athens.
Nah.
What was it like to come into the team where the other three have been racing together for quite a while?
Um, I came into the team in 2001, Edmonton. I came out there and I ran an amazing 100 meters. So I put myself in the firing line for 4x1. As you know, politics is politics, man. So I didn't really get to run in 2001. But I was always there. I was always around the lads. Athletics is not too far. We have breakfast together, lunch together, dinner together. We're always together. So these guys, I used to idolize them. They always they know this. For British sprinting, seeing someone that looks like you and achieve crazy things, and I was able to be in the same room, it inspired me to carry on and to keep pushing. So when I got the opportunity in 2003 to race with these guys in the 4x1 in Paris, it was an amazing opportunity. And we put on a show. But again, politics is politics. I wasn't put in the final. So, the demons were building, the demons were growing. 2004 came. I was blessed. I was put in the team all year round. So it wasn't 12 months I was working with the team. It was more like 4 years. I got to know Marlon really well. That's why we perfected what we perfected. Darren, a lot of people say I look like him. So, I took on the big brother role. You know what I mean? And with Jason, me and Jason had mad battles in the indoors. So again, I respected his start. I respected him as a person. But again, as a competitor, I wanted to beat him. So it made me want to learn about him. So these things came together in 2004. And we put something together that was amazing, which was the Olympic final. So when people say to me, what did it feel like to cross the line? I can't explain it because it was years in the making. It was something I always dreamt of. It's something I didn't appreciate till I retired. Even now, when people show me the video, I still get the tingles. It's crazy. But like Jason said, life after the sport is hard. We didn't realize we had to work so hard. What we achieved has still not been done. Um, so yeah, it for me. I can't explain it. It's just a magical moment. And even now, sitting down in my house, I still feel like it never happened until I sit down with these guys and we reminisce. So it's just what it is. I can't even remember what the question was.
You answered it.
You answered it. You answered it.
You answered it, bro. You answered it.
Well, the question was about coming into the group a bit later, and the reason I asked that question is because for Team USA, there's not a smooth handoff between Justin Gatlin and Kobe Miller, and Justin
Mhm.
Gatlin wasn't part of their relay team for the heats. So the reason I come onto that question for you was you mentioned their time. Over time, you got to work with these guys. How important is that, and do you think that potentially would have been the downfall when that handoff?
No, you see, it's crazy because I think we beat them in the call-up room. I don't think we was ever under any pressure when
You
it
beat
came
him on the
to.
warm-up track for what you lot told me.
Yeah, I don't think we was ever under any kind of pressure. It's a crazy thing to explain, but I think with track and field, when you're in a confident space, you're unbeatable. And what we felt on that warm-up track, if you've read the book, bought the book, you kind of can get a little feel for it. But what we experienced on that warm-up track was magical. I think we walked out to the Olympic arena so confident. I think we was floating there, if that makes any sense. Nothing could phase us. And like worrying about handovers, worrying about steps, I don't think it was a problem. It was an issue because we were drilled. We were well drilled. So all we had to do is deliver. And all of us had a bit of an itch. All of us had something to prove. All of us knew that, this is it. Nothing's granted in track and field. And that moment, we had to seize the day, as we were told as we walked out into the arena, by Steve Perks. And I think everything just added up. The zero and the ones were just in line, and we went out there and we did what we needed to do.
Mark mentions
So
there
yeah.
about, having something to prove. For you other guys, did you feel like you needed that bit of arrogance, that chip on your shoulder, that, I need to do this. There's no other way out of here apart from winning.
Sorry, I know I keep talking, but sprinting, you don't believe you're the best, you're not going to be the best. So the arrogance it's not purposely done. It's something that we have to believe. I always tell my kids, anybody that I'm coaching or mentoring, if you don't believe in yourself, I'm wasting my time. If you don't believe you can go out there and do the best that you can do, what am I doing? And on that day, we all believed. We made a big mistake in the semi-final. We went away, we learned from it, we came back, and not one mistake was made. So that shows again what Darren said earlier. If you believe in something, you can achieve it. If you put your mind to something, you can get it. Like outside of track and field, all of us now retired. Not one of us would have thought that we would have been in the situations that we're in. But because we're hard workers, because we get our head down, we still strive. Every day we're on the track, racing life. You know what I mean? So, we're strong-minded people, and the universe put us together for a reason to achieve that goal.
It's funny, but like the question has made me think about it, and it's like it should have been for me then, and now all of us. So I can't put words in people's mouths, but you've made me think about it, and it should have been a shot at glory. That's what it should have been. It wasn't for me. Yeah, it was redemption because somebody had said something about me that was untrue, and that means you've put something on my name. Do you get what I mean? And I think anybody who knows me properly knows like I don't play like that. And if you read the book, it nearly caused a problem that would have rewritten all of this. Do you get what I mean? So it for me it was a totally different type of thing, and that's why I can't remember anything. The bits that I remember is because the guys have said stuff, and I go, "Oh yeah, dude, I kind of remember that." There's just certain bits that were signs for me. So like Kelly Holmes winning 2 Olympic medals, and I've seen her in the stand, and I was like, "Yeah, it's our time." Me saying how we were going to win, it's like this is redemption. So this is deeper. This is greater, and yeah, yeah. Listen, you're gonna have to find something. If I go there, you're gonna have to find something special to beat me. It's like, yeah, because it has to be greater. Do you get what I mean? It can't be just about money, and it can't be just about fame, and it can't just be about glory. Like everybody had spoken so badly about us, and yeah, in different ways said stuff that questions your character. That yeah, all we had to do was assemble and just believe in ourselves. Yeah. So now it's not just about me believing in me, it's about Mark believing in Mark, and Mark believing in me, and Jason believing in Mark. And do you understand? When you put that connection together, whereas, yeah, Mark, I couldn't put it any better, I was floating. I'm in autopilot. That's the key. I'm in autopilot. So I know how to run. I've been doing it all my life since I was 8. Okay. So this is just about fear, and I'm not fearful. So let's go.
Marlon, for you, did you feel respected before that moment?
Did I feel respected on this match?
But before that moment, or did you feel you had to earn that respect by winning this gold medal?
Yeah, so from my perspective, the season before, so I just won the World Indoors 2003, and you start looking and forecasting what's going to happen in the future. You think, right, the Olympics are around the corner, I'm in the best position, and then if I keep training, you start looking and seeing what's going to happen in the future. So I started, right, the coach got together, and we said, let's focus on what we're going to do to get ready. So I just worked hard, so hard to the point where I just got too big and bulky. And I'm an athlete that I run with fluidity and flow. and not the aggressive muscle kind of rip the track underneath that type of athlete. I'm more floaty and fluid. So what I've done is got a lot more bigger and stronger, but I wasn't converting it onto the track. So I had those few niggles and injuries, and I didn't race particularly well at all that whole year. So my frustration was, I am in the shape of my life. So what? Luckily enough, I got picked for the team, and then off the back of that, understood why I was making these wrong decisions. I'm too big, I'm too bulky, I'm too muscle bound. Let's come off the weights, leave the weights alone, and just find that finesse again. So now I find that finesse. So when I get to the holding camp in Cyprus, I am flying. Exactly what I should have been doing in the season. So it was just frustration. And there's all sorts of talk with three boys and the relay team, and this negativity from the media from different perspectives that I'm listening and I'm aware of, which is a unique perspective because they're guys 100, they're running 100 or 200 doing their thing, and I'm getting to see other people talking behind their backs and saying that what's going on with the team, and I'm like, hold on, yeah, I'm frustrated and I'm eager to put her foot on the track, but as the three boys will understand, my fear was I felt great, but I had no reference point to say that I've raced, put a fast time down to say that I'm now ready. But I felt in the shape of my life, which has happened before. You feel like in shape of your life, you run like a donkey. So then you don't want to do that. So that was my fear going onto the track a little bit in the semi-final, if I'm honest, tiny bit. But I was frustration. I want to show what I'm made of. So when I got that baton in my hand, it was just release of everything, feeling the emotions from the boys, feeling emotions of the poor performance I had that year, and showing this is what I'm made of, and did that in that 100+ meters around the turn to pass the baton on. You see the baton from down, pass it on to Mark. So it was frustration. It's always been, although we've all medalled individually, indoors, outdoors, on the highest level, but that slate gets wiped almost. So then you start again, and to be able to execute that and just let rip and just say, this is what I'm about this year. This is what I'm capable of doing. And that was my frustration. And then to see Mark go over the line with the 0.0 of a second, and all the trials and tribulations we've all been through from different angles and perspectives in our lives, which you should definitely read the book. It goes into far more detail than we're giving you now.
I just want to jump in there, Marlon, real quick, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is how tight the team was, yeah. And I don't know if you'll remember this, but I remember coming to the warm-up track to do a relay practice, and I was kind of devastated because it was after the 100 meters, and this is how you know how confident he's built. So Marlon gets the baton off the bend, and he runs into me and passes me the baton. And the first thought that I thought in my head was, "Bro, Marlon's in shape, man." I got out, but he was up on top of me. You know what I mean? So at that point there, that made me switch on again, if that makes any sense. Because I knew if I didn't get out of my blocks or leave on the tape, Marlon is going to run me down. And then when I said to Marlon, "You're looking good," I felt the surge. It builds confidence. So again, it just goes to show how in tune we were with each other. Do you know what I mean? And I've been doing relays with Marlon for years, but at that moment, I knew if I don't get out, I'm gonna mess up. So again, it's like it was over a period. Marlon didn't run in 100 meters. He was nervous about running quick. That one relay session put confidence into all of us, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it goes to show every moment can make a difference in athletics. And that moment for me, after disappointment, made me realize there's still opportunity, there's still chance. But sorry, I don't know. As you was talking, I just remember that moment. I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
that's crazy.
No, you're exactly right. So this is what happens when we get the four of us together, and see, this is something that is a process that's happened during all the different things that happen that lift me and lift you up. It all interlinks, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And we're on the track. For me, on the track, it's like just execute. Just execute, because it's there. It's all there because we're all vibing, and our changeovers was going so swift, and it was nice. Yeah. So, looking back now, and you just mentioning that, Mark, it's passing about and realizing I'm flying. Yeah, I've got to be in shape because he's not running slow, you know. And Darren's ready. We're all ready. Okay. Despite what's going on around us, And that's so difficult if you think about it. And I see other athletes doing it as well. This to maintain that confidence when everything externally is just almost mayhem or just looking.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything externally. You're not getting anyone coming and going, yeah, you're doing really great. But one or two people, maybe, your friends and family that are closest to you. But outside that, it's all internal. And the four of us and Steve Perks and the other members of the team as well, all banding around together to just go out and just spend that time just to smash it.
It's a different level of focus. Do you get what I mean? It's like that. I think sometimes people forget that we are human beings with feelings and emotions, and people say stuff and yada yada yada. But then when you've got a certain level of focus, it can't penetrate you. When you have that belief and faith, it can't penetrate you. And I think in that moment, the level of focus is why it's only through conversation you remember certain bits, because the bits don't matter. Right now, there's only one thing that matters. Whatever time, we have to be the best version of our lives. That's the remit. Yeah. If we're going to win Olympic gold, as everyone said, we got one shot. So don't be late. Yeah. Be on time, be focused, and execute. Yeah. Because that will give you the best shot. Yeah. We may not have won. Yeah, but because we had belief in the plan and how it could play out and yada, 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 when it played out exactly how we thought it would play out, nobody's in shock. Do you get what I mean? Why? Because you focused on executing. Yeah, because if you don't execute, there's no shock. Okay, so everybody was focused. That's why you practice. Do you get what I mean? You practice that you hope on that moment at that one time when you truly, truly need it. You'll find perfection, because the world ain't perfect and nobody in this world is perfect. But for one moment, you're hoping that everything that you've worked on, your whole life's work, will create perfection. And that's the only way we're going to beat the Americans. We have to be perfect. If you look at the changeovers, they were perfect. Could we ever do that again? No. No,
You didn't.
not possible. Yeah, because in that moment, every single ingredient that you need to be successful was there, because there was no distractions. Yeah, you trust what you do. Your team's calm. Do you get what I mean? Why? Because we create that. Yeah, because we're calm. So how can anybody around us be nervous when we're so calm? Yeah,
It's mad you say that,
Yeah,
because
yeah, it's
I
like
remember the only time, sorry to cut you, Darren, the only time I felt nervous is when they said, "Can all of you go to your spots?" And I thought, shit, I'm on my own. But apart from that, I remember walking around the bend and seeing Marlon, getting the salute, the nod. And I was like, let's go. You know what I mean? It's mad, it's crazy. I can't explain it, but yeah.
Well, it's
Sorry,
even
man. Let's have to get that.
and when I say perfection, it's even when you look back at the race, when you watch the build up to the race, there's a point where the camera zooms in on every single one of us individually. And if you look at every individual's face, you will see calm, absolute calm, absolute calm. There's no panic. There's no you'll see calm. Do you get what I mean? It's looking across at the other to go, yeah, that's my guy. Do you get what? We're going into war, yeah, but it's not war. Yeah, it's a physical, sporty battle. Let's not call it war, because war's serious, but it's a battle. Do you understand? You're up against other nations, yeah, and the dream that you had as a kid of being Olympic champion, you're not the only person in the world that had that. So,
but I don't think when I was on the track getting ready to race, that all that was in my. I don't think it was in my mind.
No, but that's what
I didn't care about
your mind. That's the point.
Yeah, even the 50, 80,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
It was.
You're not focused.
I can't. Yeah, I can't even.
And I made that mistake. Yeah, 2000. See, individually, 100-meter final. I remember standing on the line and going, "Oh my days, this is the 100-meter Olympic final. 120,000 people in the stadium, the most watched event of the whole Olympics." Right?
You lose your battle.
Darren,
you can't do that. You can't do that.
That is it.
What difference does any of that make? So by the time, I learned the lesson, but I'm a quick learner. So by the time I make the 200-meter final, I'm like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah, man.
200-meter final, and I got a shot at a medal. So you're gonna have to beat me. Yeah, how am I
Yeah,
coming
get
up
me.
ahead of guys that can run 9 point? Because I put
mm.
on the battle mode. The battle mode means that it's not that I can't be beaten, but you're gonna have to beat me. I'm not gonna give it you. I'm not gonna let anything mess up what I'm doing. Yeah, but if you beat me, you're the better man on the day. That's
Yeah,
sport. That's what we
it's
love about sport. That's why we're all friends.
it's
Yeah, because we
crazy.
Yeah.
understood what it was, what this is. Do you get
Mhm.
what I mean? So come that Olympic final, yeah. Well, I've already made the mistake in the 100 meters. I already learned the mistake in the 200 meters. Good luck.
Darren, you're right though, because when people say to me, "Oh, wasn't you nervous about standing next to Maurice Green?" And if hand on my heart, all I was thinking is I was looking on the bend, and all I thought is I'm gonna yam this bend. I'm just gonna eat it. I don't care who's next to me. I'm just gonna. As soon as Marlon hits that tape, I'm done. Like we said in the final call room, give me the baton in first place. I will not let you down. And
That's
he
it.
had to work to catch up with. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I didn't let you down. And I think that's where our mentality was. I think our mentality was, this is it. You lot don't believe in us, but we believe in us. 0.01 of a second. Have that. Olympic gold medalist. You
Amen.
understand? That is our belief. That is how we've always lived our life. We're not from no privileged background. We've always been under a fight. Yeah. So for me, that was the icing on the cake. So when people say, "How do you feel?" I don't. It was just a moment that I knew we had to get. It was one of the greatest moments in my life. I had to work hard for it, but it wasn't given to us. We had to work for it. We made mistakes. Do you know what I mean? Hey, listen, yeah, it's 21 years, lads. We're still here, innit?
We're
You know what I
still
mean?
here.
And
Give
like, I
thanks.
love you all, man. You've given me something that no one else can give me. You know what I
No,
mean? And
hell no.
like, I look at that medal. My kids look at the medal, and they're like, "Wow." To me, it's just a medal, but the experience is what it is. Do you
Yeah.
understand? The lessons on the way. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah,
The
sorry, man.
lessons on the way.
Sorry, man. I just get a little bit emotional every now and again. Do you
Well,
know what
we're
I mean? But
older. Well, we're older.
yeah,
See, so
it's
every
crazy.
we
It's
don't get
crazy.
this often. So every time we come together, our levels of wisdom and understanding is different. Because, like I
Mm,
said, there was one point I phoned my mum and I said, "This whole Olympic thing's nonsense." Do you get what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm still out here. Just, I went down that path and da 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 and yada yada yada, and then something happened, and I went, actually, it's the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, of course it does,
When you're
man.
at your lowest, you've got a template that you can go back to, whether it's resilience, focus, determination, whatever. Do you get what I mean? As one of an athlete said it to me, young athlete, you know, she said to me, "You're a 1%er." I was like, what do you mean? She goes like, "Well, only like 1% of the world have done what you've done." Do you get what I mean? And I'm like, uh, she told me a bit more with regards to, she's a 1%, blah, 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 and she don't apologize. And I think I've spent a lot of my life apologizing for being a 1%er, and I refuse to do it anymore.
Mm,
Do you get
mm,
what I mean? It's like nothing I have has been given. I come from a single parent family,
mm,
no father figure. Do you get what I mean? So
mm.
what we're talking about is learning on job. Do you know what I mean? I got 3 kids. So yeah, I'm learning athletics on job because there's no
Mm.
map. Yeah, I'm learning to be a father on job because there's no blueprint. Do you get
There's no
what I mean?
blueprint.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything you do in life, you're gonna have levels of adversity and learning, but don't let it deter you. Do you get what I
Yeah,
mean? That's what
criticism, all that.
I
Yeah,
hope
it's all
that
irrelevant.
everybody understands from the story, not the glitz, the glory. No, no, we all have this within us, but it's hard to get it out, and that's why we still graft now. Do you get what I mean? Because what I know now at 51, my greatest legacy is my kids. Not my Olympic gold medal, not any
Mm.
financial reward I've gained along the way. It's my kids. Do you get what I mean? Seeing them go and do stuff and not go, well, it's off the back of that. That means, well, my oldest son told me the other day, 25, just bought his first house, well, his house. And I was saying, oh yeah, about mistakes I made and da da da. And he said, Dad, he goes, don't beat yourself up on any mistakes you made. He goes, you made them, so we know what not to do. And
Yeah, yeah.
you're there to guide us. There you go. That's legacy. Yeah, I can chill. I don't need to work hard. It's not working hard now. It's working smart.
Definitely.
100%.
Jason, I don't want to miss you out there, so I want to detour back to it. What was your point to prove on that night?
Well, I was just hearing the recollections from my teammates. I guess, we share a lot of similar kind of experiences. Similar backgrounds in some ways and not in other ways. But what did I want to prove that night? I just didn't want to let my teammates down. I think bottom line, it wasn't about proving anything to anybody else, because the reality is I didn't care about anybody else. Um, I when you get to that level and you've had, I mean, I was an international athlete for a number of years. You've had the media write positive things about you, and you've also experienced some of the negative things when you don't perform well, and that's all part of the business, which is great. But it was just about making sure I didn't let these guys down. I wanted to deliver my absolute maximum, and be proud. I knew it was going to be probably my last Olympic Games. I wanted to be a different experience from the Sydney 2000 in 2000, which was just heartbreaking. I wanted to come away having delivered the best version of myself, being the best that I can be. And I think now in the work of performance, when that I'm involved with, whether it's working with businesses or young sports kind of talent looking to make a mark in the future. Ultimately, it's about delivering your maximum. And as Darren said, if somebody beats you and you're giving your 100%, all you can do is shake their hand and say, you were the better person on the day. But when I do look back and think, when you look at the stats before the race and how much better the Americans were and some of the other teams, it just goes to show anything can happen. And I know it's kind of a bit of a cliche sometimes in sport, but we are proof that if you are prepared as best as you possibly can be, and you just focus on your job, anything can happen. And to this day, I still pinch myself. And like Mark said, it feels a bit surreal that things didn't happen.
Definitely. I know we're coming towards the end of our time, so I'm going to come round to one last question for each of you, and it's the same question to all of you. What does the other three guys in this call mean to you?
Let me start. Okay. Uh, yeah, 6 years ago now, I had a bleed on the brain. And yeah, it was the biggest fight of my life. And I guess in those moments, you find out who's for you and like who's not for you. And yeah, these three guys right here are for me, my brothers for life. They came to see me. They reminded me who I was, gave me the strength to get back on my feet. And I've elevated again, thanks to them. And obviously my wife, my kids, and a couple more of my good friends. But when you think that we came together as rivals, and then we did something so special. But in my time of true need, not winning Olympic gold, but of true need of life and quality of life moving forward, they reminded me who I am. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
Marlon?
These boys, man. So uh, I'm just trying to give you some kind of context. So I've been doing a talk as part of my job, and I get to the point where I'm talking about the boys, and every single time, I'm not that type of person to get emotional. I'm not that I'm trying to be
Mm,
well hard.
mm.
I don't cry. I'm just that type of person. I have my own emotions. I can express my emotions quite clearly. But every time I talk about the boys, and it's like towards the end, I'm fighting back the tears.
It's
Yeah.
mad, isn't it?
And I have to gather myself, and the audiences can feel it, and I'm trying to, come on, I'll get through this. And then I realized, well, it's 21 years ago. 21 years ago, and it still hits hard every time I get to these points in what I'm trying to say. And yeah, as Darren said, um, we've all been through different things through our lives, and allowing me to come out here and do what I'm doing here in China, not being part of the forum, getting together as much as we would, and maximizing this and just being here together. They wish me the best, and I wish them the best. Every time I see something online, I'm watching something I see, I have nothing but smiles and admiration for them. And like, yes, I've seen Darren doing so well with his the UK athletics thing. I can imagine the pressure he's under. And I've sent a few texts and messages. I've got you. He's getting some real good praise for what he's doing. Myself and Mark, we have a lot of banter. We used to train together. We probably spent the most time training together. I've said before, Jason and I, we come through the rankings when we didn't to look in a crystal ball to say that we were going to be Olympic champion. We probably would have laughed, but we were just being competitive over in Telford. Was it Telford? Was it
Yeah.
Jason? I remember, yeah, and
Yeah.
just. It's just a lot of banter, lots of fun. It was just completely innocent then, no media watching. So it goes way, 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 way back. And to get on the other side of it to now, where we've had the successes, and the Olympics is obviously the pinnacle of that. And there's just a deep love for the three guys that's never going to leave me. And it's just real, genuine love that I've got for these three guys. I want them to do the best, and I wish the best for them. And I always look forward to catching up, and just the only thing we can do. It's a shame it's online, because I would have embraced these guys straight away and had a banter and a laugh at a joke as we do. And probably gone to where we go to where last time we met was the West Indian restaurant.
West
We sat
India
there and
in
had a bottle of
Bristol.
Bristol,
Coke.
innit?
In
Yeah,
Bristol.
that's
We
crazy.
could do that for hours. And we got to go back to the kids. We got back to the kids. I gotta go. It's those things, right? It's just hours and hours of banter and joke and just pure love. So yeah, that's what I've got to say.
For you, Jason?
I guess ultimately our race in Athens success created a bond like you would never know, which is brought us so strong together, which is very rare. Everyone can understand bonds and stuff like that with your own immediate family, but this is one which is continuing to evolve. The strength grows stronger day by day, year by year. And yeah, that's what it means to me. Like Darren mentioned, if I'm in a situation, I've got a few numbers on my phone which I could call, who will be there for me, and these guys will be there for me. And I think in life people come in, go in and out of your life. A lot of people promise lots of things and stuff like that. You think people are going to be around for, forever. But often you get let down or things don't quite work out. But these guys, I 100% are always going to be there. And that gives me great strength, and it's a great opportunity to just, hear their voices today as well. So that's what they mean to me.
And Mark, for you?
Hey, this one's going to be a weird one, but I'll just say it as it is, because you know me, I always speak as it is. Listen, the universe works differently in it. Yeah, I never thought I'd live where I'm living. It's mad. I can drive to Darren's house, which is 5 minutes away from me. Bath is literally down the road. Marlon, I know you're far, but if you was in the UK, you'd be on the M4 corridor. It's mad. We're all close. These guys are my teachers. These guys are my big brothers. Um, I've learned a lot from them, not just in athletics, outside of athletics. Business, business. You guys have taught me a lot. Trials and tribulations. There's not many people that I will call and sit down and confine in and reason with. I can open my heart with these guys at any point in time. If they're busy, they get back to me. I'm from a big city. I know many people. I can count on my one hand how many people I can really rely on. And these three are one of them. You know, as you know, I retired. Life's different. Or that crew of people that you had around you disappeared. these people always stayed consistent, you know, and advised me how to live my life outside of athletics. It's a mental thing. It's hard, you know, but I got a lot of education from these guys. It's hard to explain, man. Listen, I'd do anything for any of you. You already know, you know.
I don't need to say it.
It's not even just the medal. It's not even just the MBE. It's not even just the achievement. I think these guys have been consistent in my athletic life, in my outside life, for the longest of times. So yeah, we need to be given our flowers. What we achieved hasn't been done again. People say it's a 4x1, but they don't know the build up. They don't know what we sacrificed to get there. You know what I mean? And life outside of sport is hard. It's real. You know, I only realized that when I retired, and I was like, wow. You know what I mean? But again, because we were how we are as people, we never fail. We go through trials and tribulations, and we learn from them. You know, so yeah, these guys are my brothers for life. That's all I can say.
For the best part of an hour, I can honestly say this right here is a team. This is what a team is. This is the definition of a team for me. I've sat here, I say, best part of an hour with goosebumps the whole way through. Guys, I want to thank you all very, very much for your time. It's been a real pleasure. We could sit here for another hour long as well. I had more questions to ask you, but Mark kept talking. But
Hey, listen, yeah, oi.
Yes, you
Hey, listen, yeah. There's so much more. There's so much more. We kind of with PG right now, yeah. But if we was really to open up,
No, we're getting there. We're getting there. Listen, James, I just want to thank you. Jason said your perseverance is beyond. We don't do interviews for people, okay? So again, it just shows if you persevere, eventually, people hear and they listen. Do you get what I mean? So, you know, this has probably been one of the best interviews we've ever done. So I appreciate the time that you gave to
100%,
and the thoughtfulness that you put into this. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, James.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
James, just a quick one. So if you can just keep us informed, or me, what you're doing with it when it's going out and stuff like that, so we can kind of track it for our own kind of usage as well, and
spread it.
And spread it. And maybe and once you've done your kind of your release and stuff, it'd be great if you could send a copy of this recording for us for our archives, because in years to come we'll probably look back on some of these wonderful interviews we've shared with each other. So yeah, thanks very much, James, and all the best with putting this together and showcasing us in the glory we deserve.
Nice,
all right, appreciate you all, man. Listen, we need to catch up soon, man. Let me know when you're back in the UK, Marlon. Yeah.
I'll let you know, man. I'll let you know. The summer. I'll be back in the summer.
All right.
Cool. Listen, I gotta go because I got people waiting. Take care, man.
Love, man.
All right,
so good to see you.
Thanks, James. Take care, man. You got my information now, yes? So stay in contact. Peace.
Thank you.
All right.